Are you tired of always scribbling notes on a notepad, messy, with a lot of pages and scribbling all over, wasting paper all the time and you don't get it right? I have a solution for you. It's called the Samsung Galaxy Note. What's up everybody, it's Too Fat to Tech, and like I mentioned before, we're going to be looking at this beautiful phablet, like I would call it, phone and tablet, the Samsung Galaxy Note. I'd like to thank Mobile Made Simple for making this possible, for letting me have the phone for a few days. Check Mobile Made Simple guys, they are really good for all the latest phones, accessories, tablets, as well as contracts and outright prepaid. Whatever you want in a phone, they have it. They do same day repairs as well. So what I'm going to do is tell you the specifications of this phone or tablet, like you would like to call it, or phablet, a mix between the two. It does come with a 5.3-inch WX VGA HD Super AMOLED screen, and the resolution is 1280 by 800, so it's a pretty good screen, and it's a 5.3-inch screen, so a lot of screens real estate here on the phone itself. And it weighs about 7 ounces, a bit under 7 ounces. So it's not a very heavy phone as it might look. It's a bit bulky, but not heavy at all. It's quite light. And it comes with 16 gig of memory, and it's expandable as well. Now the cool thing about this phablet is that it comes with an S Pen, and you can do quite a few cool things with this. I'll be showing you that as well a bit later on in the video. So 5.3-inch screen, I forgot to mention 8 megapixel camera at the back with flash, much more than the new iPad or the iPhone 4S, and similar to some of the newer phones out there. 1.4 gigahertz dual processor as well, so it's a very snappy device. The battery is pretty large and it gives you about 10 hours of battery life. Now I've been reviewing this for a couple of days, putting it on standby and seeing how much talk time I get. I get about 2 days of usage out of this phone, which is pretty good. It does have a 2500 milliamp battery as well, and it records full HD video as well at 30 frames per second, so that's very good as well for this device. So not only you get an organizer, note, sketching, a phone feature, obviously all your browsing, GPS, etc., but you also get a good camera, and at the front you have a 2 megapixel camera as well for video conferencing, and self-portraits, so that's also pretty good. So let's take a closer look at some of the features of the phone and the S Pen as well. So I'm going to start with the box itself and what comes along with the phone. So you get documents, charger, cable, and a set of white headphones. So basically at the top is your headphone jack, and at the bottom is a port for charging and syncing. On one side you have your on and off as well as sleep buttons, and on the other side is your volume rockers. And then obviously you have your speakers and microphone. And at the back you have an 8 megapixel camera with flash. At the front is your 2 megapixel camera up here. And at the bottom is your home button, which is physical. You also have a couple of capacitive touch buttons. So one is your back button and one is to pull up your menu. Now let's look at what this phone can do. So basically I'm just going to show you some of the basic features of the phone, as well as what the S Pen can do. I'll just zoom back into the screen. So you can actually configure your unlock screen with shortcuts as well. Now this comes loaded with Gingerbread, so Android 2.3. I did do an update, but obviously that was just a couple of minor updates. Ice Cream Sandwich probably won't come till the end of the year, early next year, which is a shame because this would really be good with Ice Cream Sandwich. You obviously have your multiple pages, which you can customize. And you actually have 5, you can actually put up to 5 apps or applications, and you can obviously customize all this that I'm showing you here. So yeah, just looking at some of the things that came with the phone itself. So basically what you can do is you can actually write as you would type as well, so you can use that, and you can also do sketching as well as make notes, and in some of the applications as well it has an inbuilt option for you to use the S Pen. So I'm just going to start with the title where I'm going to use the S Pen. So I'm just going to put something like just a T, and so I just put a T there for test, and let's try this out. Just doing random stuff here just to see how responsive it is. And obviously you can customize the settings for the S Pen as well. Now one of the cool things is it has a button down here, and when you actually hold the button and then hold it towards the screen, it takes a screenshot. So once it takes a screenshot, you can obviously edit it later, you can share it, you can set it, you can print it, you can use it later on as well. So that's pretty cool. So with that screenshot, you can do quite a few things. Now I'm back again to that page where I was and showing you a couple of other features. So you can go to the pen settings here. I'll just zoom in a bit more. You can go to the pen settings here and choose different colors. So let's try red, and you see here that you can do that. And obviously you can get a thicker contour as well to it. So you can do a couple of different things. You can choose whether you want a brush type or a pencil type, and you see that you get that particular outcome. So let's try that in a yellow. And you can obviously do quite a few different things with this. You can also use the pad up here. This was something, while I was very happy with the S Pen in terms of picking up most of the stuff, sometimes I was a bit annoyed with using the pad here because it gave suggestions, although you can turn it off, but didn't always work to the best. It is working now though, and it actually captures your handwriting as close as possible as you would do on paper. So it's a very neat feature to have, especially when you're writing a lot of notes, taking a lot of notes, and this is much better than carrying a notepad around as well. Now, like I said, you can customize everything. Now, what about the camera? Not only does it have the 8 megapixel, but it also has other cool things you can add as well. A couple of edit shortcuts, so you can do things as shooting mode, scene mode, exposure, resolution, effects, timer, and other things as well. Image quality, guidelines, anti-shake, just by pulling up that tab there. So what about the browsing experience? Let's take a look at the browsing experience. This time I'll use the keypad just to give you an idea of the keyboard here. As you can see, because of the huge screen space, the keyboard is slightly bigger as well. The keys are a bit bigger than what you would find in other phones as well. The other thing I like about it is obviously the feedback you get. So the vibration you get is pretty good as well. Obviously the speed at which it loads up depends on your connection. My connection is pretty decent. So as you can see, the huge screen here makes quite a lot of difference. I'll actually load it up on my iPhone as well. That's the same page loaded on an iPhone 4S. And you can see the difference here that the screen size makes for you while browsing. It's much more larger, much more stuff you can see. Even the zooming is much more effective. And it's just joy to scroll down. It's very responsive. And you can see here that this is not zoomed at all on both of them. And it's much better on the Note as well. And yeah, I like this feature as well. You just put your finger on 2 spots and then you can zoom in. I'm sure you can see that there. So that's how I zoom out, and that's how I zoom in. So I might show you that with something more noticeable. See there? It's pretty cool. I like that. So guys, basically I wanted to show you the Samsung Galaxy Note, some of the features which you won't find in other phones. Well, one being obviously the screen size you get. The other being the S Pen. The video is fantastic on it as well. This is really good as a second device for basically carrying around to take notes, and if you're someone who uses a lot of writing or sketching, this could be a second option as well. The other device in terms of mobility, in terms of portability, would be maybe a 7 to 8 inch tablet, and one of the best ones I've seen out there is a Samsung 7.7 inch tablet as well. So obviously you have other ones coming out as well. You have a new Asus one coming out. You have the Samsung 8.9 inch which has just been released with the 4G. But if you don't necessarily want a phone but a second device to use around, this is a great recommendation. Honestly, to use it as a phone itself can be quite a task just because of the pure size, but as a second device I definitely recommend it. What I like in this device is the screen size. It's very snappy because of the dual core processor. It has a handy camera at the back. The stylus is very useful for a person like me, especially who takes a lot of notes, who uses it for a lot of writing. This is a very good option for me. One of the main things I don't like, and it's not directly to do with the phone itself, is that ice cream sandwich is not available at the moment, which will definitely improve things. They'll definitely improve the experience on the phone. The other thing, what I would like to see would be a dedicated camera button as well. So that would be something that should be considered in the future models. I mean, although you can customize it. Apart from that, it's a pretty snappy phone. It's pretty good. What they can improve as well is the presentation of these apps. I'm sure they can make it better when you actually go to your apps. Good value for money. It's not very expensive. You can get these for between $450 to $650 depending on where you're buying it. This is Australian dollars. So guys, if you have any question about this particular phone, send me a message or mention me on Twitter, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks again, and don't waste paper.